In the years prior to 1975, relations between Vietnam and Cambodia were defined by mutual respect and cooperation. The two nations, sharing not only borders but also a history of struggle against colonialism, had fostered a spirit of friendship and solidarity. However, this era of goodwill would come to an abrupt and tragic end with the rise of the Khmer Rouge. By May 1975, the Khmer Rouge seized control in Cambodia, promising a new era for the country. But rather than deliver peace and prosperity, they turned against their own people and their neighbors. The regime began distorting history, inciting hatred, and spreading dangerous ideologies. With calculated propaganda, they sowed seeds of animosity, painting Vietnam as an enemy and fueling a campaign of violence along the southwestern border. Innocent civilians became victims of these senseless acts as border villages were attacked, and families were torn apart by the brutality of the Khmer Rouge. Under the leadership of Pol Pot, the Khmer Rouge pursued a radical and destructive vision. Their so-called New Combat Doctrine was nothing short of chilling, a plan to wage a prolonged war of attrition against Vietnam, with the aim of annihilating the Vietnamese population, even at the cost of millions of Cambodian lives. The regime boasted of ambitions to liberate Saigon, making arrogant declarations that ignored the realities of their own nation's suffering and the strength of their much larger neighbor. Faced with repeated incursions, massacres of civilians, and a growing humanitarian crisis on the border, Vietnam could not stand idle. The government exercised its right to self-defense, mobilizing its forces to protect its people and sovereignty. On December 23, 1978, the People's Army of Vietnam launched a full-scale counteroffensive, determined to end the cycle of violence and put an end to the Khmer Rouge's reign of terror. In this campaign, 10 divisions of the Khmer Rouge faced the advancing Vietnamese troops. What followed was a stunning military campaign that would resonate across Southeast Asia. Within just half a month, the Vietnamese forces swept through Cambodia with remarkable speed and precision. Phnom Penh, the capital, along with other major cities, were liberated. The Khmer Rouge's 20 divisions, once so boastful and defiant, crumbled under the weight of Vietnamese military might. Millions of Cambodians, previously living under the shadow of fear and oppression, were freed from the grasp of a brutal regime. Observers across the region were astonished by the rapidity of Vietnam's victory. The swiftness and decisiveness of the campaign sent a clear message about the formidable capabilities of the Vietnamese military, prompting both admiration and anxiety among neighboring countries. The key to this unexpected triumph lay in the overwhelming military superiority of Vietnam. The forces deployed in the southwestern offensive even exceeded those mobilized during the historic Ho Chi Minh campaign. Modern tanks, armored vehicles, artillery, aircraft, and naval support provided a significant edge, enabling the Vietnamese army to outmaneuver and overpower their adversary at every turn. The Khmer Rouge, for all their bluster and guerrilla tactics, favoring hit-and-run attacks and avoiding direct confrontation, made a critical miscalculation. They underestimated Vietnam's resolve and capacity to mount a comprehensive and coordinated assault. Their strategy, rooted in ideology rather than reality, could not withstand the disciplined and well-equipped Vietnamese advance. First-hand accounts from veterans like Pham Mon Din offer a window into the experiences of those on the front lines. He recalls the taunting letters sent by the Khmer Rouge, challenging the Vietnamese soldiers' resolve. He speaks of the daily hardships, the intensity of battle, the bonds formed among comrades, and the profound sorrow of losing friends in combat. Yet, amid the chaos, there were also moments of humanity and hope. Interactions between Vietnamese soldiers and Cambodian civilians fleeing the Khmer Rouge reveal another side of the conflict. Soldiers did what they could to provide aid and comfort, forging new relationships with people desperate for safety and dignity. These acts of compassion helped lay the groundwork for reconciliation and rebuilding after the war. Looking back, the campaign stands as a testament to the perils of extremism and the resilience of those who answer the call to defend their nation and protect the innocent. It also poses a sobering question. Should Cambodia ever threaten Vietnam again? How would the Vietnamese people respond? History has shown that aggression, arrogance, and hatred yield only suffering, while solidarity and justice offer a path to peace.